Outside the 25.
Playing his first round match against Northern Ireland's Gavin Carlin. Hamilton, who has spent a couple of years in the darting wilderness, back
outside the 25.
on the professional tour, and has a chance to showcase his skills here on the live stream. Stream 2 with me, Chris Murphy. Dan Dawson over on Stream 1 calling
25.
the action over there. We've just seen a bit of a shock. Well, you probably would have said it was a shock had you been previewing the match on Friday, but Steve Lennon was wonderful in reaching the semi-finals here yesterday. Probably should have gone on to reach a final, missed 4 match starts to do so, and punished Dave Chisnell for missing key opportunities in the opening match here on Stream 2 this afternoon. Lennon through to the second round and will face the winner of this match between Hamilton and Carlin. It's fair to say that neither player has pulled up any trees so far in 2020. The pair both playing their 8th match
140
on the tour. Hamilton losing out to Michael van Gerwen, whitewashed by MVG yesterday. That's only the second time that he's won his first round match. That was against Wayne Jones. Carlin similarly has not made it past the second round, but both of them did win their first games yesterday. Carlin beating Matt Clark before losing out 46 to Dimitri van den Berg. We have had a fair few first round matches reach their conclusion. I can tell you that last Saturday's winner Ryan Searle has lost in the first round on both days this weekend, from hero to zero. Searle losing out 6-5 to Joe Cullen. Rob Cross also knocked out in round 1.
58.
Cross struggling at the start of this season, beaten by Vincent van der Meer 6-3. No problem for Daryl Gurney, he's through 6-3 against Mike van Duivenbode. The leading light in Northern Irish darts, an example for Gavin Carlin to follow. We'll return to the results at the conclusion of this leg.
57.
Carlin has 6 darts to take out 107. Treble 17. Couldn't find it, but it shouldn't matter.
91.
Because Hamilton has not made any progress really in this leg. Could leave this handy though and just apply some pressure.
100.
Just halves the score. I don't think that will fluster his opponent too much. Carlin eyes up double 8. 1 on the wire. The other side of the wire, double 4.
12.
Well, a leg that he seemed to have complete control of. Could get away from him here. Could look at 2 double tops. That's what he was attempting.
60.
It is a slow start. They are 2 players who won't be rushed, that's for sure.
Game shot.
Carlin eventually gets over the line in leg 1. Just going back to the results that are coming through. Krzysztof Ratajski, winner here last Sunday. A 6-3 winner over Max Hopp, the German number 1. Adrian Lewis has edged out Jan Decker 6-5.
100.
Mike De Decker beaten 6-5 as well by Mensha Suljevic in a high quality affair in which both players averaged over 101. Roby John Rodriguez has seen off Nick Kenny 6-0. He'll meet Michael van Gerwen in the second round. As I mentioned, the potential for an MVG Anderson third round tie on board 1, but plenty of darts to be thrown between now and then.
$45.
Jamie Hughes, a 6-5 winner against Jamie Lewis.
180.
And out of a clear blue sky, A 180 by Gavin Carlin. That's his 10th on tour this year. His second season after coming through Q School last year. Hamilton regaining his card by coming through
60.
Qualifying school at the start of this year. This is better.
177.
Yeah, that's much better from Andy Hamilton, who not so long ago was one of the premier players in world darts. Look back 5 years ago, Hamilton
97
had just completed a run, a 2 or 3 year spell of reaching the quarterfinals in just about every major tournament.
Game shot.
And it was darts like that that made him the fierce competitor that he was. So hard to beat Andy Hamilton in that spell. Semi-finalist in the Premier League in 2012 when he lost to Simon Whitlock, who he went on to beat.
47.
Or he had beat, rather, in the semi-finals of the World Championship of the same year. Whitlock, incidentally, is coming up next here on Stream 2.
96.
The Wizard, who wasn't in the field yesterday, has turned up for the Sunday tournament and will take on Karol Sedlarczyk, who we had on the stream last weekend in a 6-0 win over Luke Humphreys. He never missed a dart at double. That
65.
was the Wizards thing, wasn't it? 6 or 7 years ago, the finishing. Hamilton very much in a similar vein, but he's had to drop off the tour and he's trying to come back, trying to fight his way back to the top.
137. $96.
Just from both players so far, 1 or 2 too many stray darts, and
36.
Hamilton rather highlights that point in that visit. He put himself in a good position in the leg, but a scrappy score, a scrappy turn, has handed the initiative back to his opponent.
140.
And he's taken full advantage, a 140 to leave the finish. Hamilton can't afford anything scrappy in this visit.
$93.
Well, it was an important last dart, but both players are looking at big 3-figure combinations.
100.
Treble 19, the first port of call. Now we'll just
99.
tee up double top, which is what Carlin might hope to do with this first start. Does so.
13.
Well, the first start was a flyer, to put it kindly. Almost had to switch to double top with the second, and Hamilton hopes to make him pay.
Game shot.
And he does make him pay. No record of any previous meeting between the pair of them.
83.
Suppose their career paths have been different, and Carlin fairly new.
$140.
to professional darts. Hamilton had dropped off the tour when he arrived in the PDC.
$140.
And Gavin Carlin only played a handful of BDO and WDF sanctioned tournaments.
24.
We did see him at the very start of last year threaten to do some damage, but he never really backed over the course of the season.
58.
We saw him reach a quarter-final here in Wigan at Players' Championship 3 in 2019, but never matched that for the rest of the year. And in fact went on a few very difficult
58.
spells, particularly towards the end of last year. His most common result was a first round exit, and that's the result that he suffered already 3 times this year as well.
180.
Well, the 180 from Hamilton, his first, sets up double top to give him the chance to set up
134.
a 2-leg lead. Carlin leaves a finish just in case Hamilton runs into traffic here.
Game shot.
But no problem at all for the hammer. The 52-year-old from Stoke-on-Trent.
140.
Home of many a top darts player. Ian White and Adrian Lewis have already done their bit this afternoon. They're through to the second round.
$66.
Can Hamilton make it a hat-trick for Stoke? There was some other fella as well a few years ago that was pretty decent with the old arrows.
$40. $96. $58.
Nicely done, nicely done.
Game
Wonderful shot from Gavin Carlin. Took his time over it, but worked it out. And in the end, a well-crafted 1-3-1 checkout to close the gap back to a single leg. Hamilton seems to have found his feet, however, in the last few moments. And he fires in his second max of the match.
$140.
That's 15 for the season now for Andy Hamilton in his 8th match of the season. And that's perfect. Carry on, Andy. That's handy, Andy.
140.
Well, it was all looking dandy, Andy.
$125.
We saw Dave Chisnell fire in 7 perfect darts in the previous match. Steve Lennon, who beat Chizzy, had hit a perfect leg himself yesterday. Hamilton will not be adding his name to the 9-dart club just yet.
60.
In 2020, has hit 3 perfect legs in his career. Of course, that Premier League semi-final back in 2012, I mentioned Simon Whitlock hit one against him.
60.
We will see the Wizard next. The Wizard of Oz has flown in from Germany, where he was competing yesterday. Try and earn himself a few pennies this afternoon.
85.
Hamilton here seems to be in control of this tie. And if he can showcase the old grit that he was
100.
renowned for in the early parts of the last decade, then there's no reason he won't get over the line and set up that meeting with Steve Lennon.
Game shot.
And he takes another step towards it.
$55.
All of the top 16 seeds have now played their first round matches, and by my quick reckoning,
120.
We've lost 3 of them this afternoon. Johnny Clayton, Rob Cross, and of course Dave Chisnell.
140.
So Whitlock, Sedlacek next, and then Adam Hunt against Ryan Joyce in a north-east derby. Ryan Joyce responsible for knocking out Gary Anderson yesterday.
136. $82.
Well, Hamilton has every chance here of increasing his advantage. A treble to leave a finish and be on one first. That'll do.
81.
Well, he is on a finish, but he would have expected to have been on a much more manageable one, and if he is to increase his advantage, thanks largely to that maximum from his opponent, Hamilton's going to have to produce some fireworks here.
57 scored, yeah.
Yes, it's in Andy, as he looks to land one alongside it. Well, he wasn't far away, but he was hoping to disappear into the distance in terms of the tie.
136.
And Carlin can just stop him in his tracks here. Twelve for double 16,
Game
nicely
shot.
done. Slight frustration for Andy Hamilton because he was looking in a strong position in that leg, but just one misfired dart into the wrong bed, and then Carlin, producing a maximum, turned it on a sixpence.
$180.
This is very, very impressive stuff, has to be said, from Andy Hamilton. Has got better and better as this game's gone on, and now in back-to-back legs he's
85.
produced a perfect visit at the start of it. It is looking likely to be by far his best performance of the year.
21.
If you are just tuning in, he has been playing better than that visit just suggested, but he's averaging around 97. His highest average of the season is
44.
a point below that, but he's been more frequently hitting around the 88 mark over the course of the year.
$40.
Well, he's doing his best to regress to the mean here, Andy Hamilton, but still finds himself in a good position in the leg thanks to the fact that he opened it with a maximum.
55. 50.
He's gone from producing perfect darts to literally throwing them all over the place.
100.
And yet still finds himself in front in the leg. Can he get back to it now? Or just a wayward one, but
95.
that won't bother him too much unless Carlin does what he did in the previous leg and lands a massive, massive score at this point. Something like this, perhaps. Downstairs.
139.
Well, not the 177, but still a well-timed assault on the Hamilton throw. And the hammer now, well, I was about to say needed
75.
to nail that finish. Well, Andy's not happy about something here, and I think it's a fact that Gavin Carlin has decided he's going to turn away, have a drink. He could have been doing that while Hamilton was throwing. Hamilton almost wandered out of the booth, perhaps as a sign that he wasn't too happy with the amount of time that Carlin was going to take, or perhaps just that he was hogging the table.
39.
Hamilton had been hogging the match, and it was almost tied up there, and now they're going to have a battle about who can take the longest.
Game shot.
But there we go, that's all that matters. Hamilton, having offered an opportunity to his opponent and seen that opportunity turned down, decided that he wasn't going to give out a second invitation. And now Carlin has to win 3 consecutive legs, or Hamilton
96.
will make it through to the second round. That's exactly what Boris Kirchmar has done. He's beaten Wesley Harms 6-5. Darius Labanauskas as well, a 6-3 win against Callan Ridds. Labanauskas will take on James Wade in round 2.
140.
Madars Razmar, a 6-2 winner against Bradley Brooks. Razmar will meet Vincent van der Meer in a section of the draw that's opened up because van der Meer beat Rob Cross 6-3.
100.
Jelle Klaassen has edged out Steve West 6-5. The Cobra averaging 102.4. And it's been an unhappy return to Pro Tour action for Kyle Anderson, back from Australia, but back-to-back first-round exits on his
66.
return. This time beaten 6-4 by Luke Woodhouse.
$180.
Well, Gavin Carlin with a unorthodox 180 there, because had he not found the final dart in the treble, he wouldn't have been on a finish. Took the gamble. In the end, it's paid off.
96.
Not that it matters anyway, because Andy Hamilton is a long way behind in this leg, not on a finish himself. Treble 20. Double top for a second three-figure out of the match. His second three-figure out of the match, the 125, to sit alongside the 131, and just to make Andy Hamilton work for this.
100.
And there are two players that are in need of wins, having not had many at the start of the season, and you might just see evidence of the tungsten tension being
93.
cranked up. It's a very mechanical, robotic throwing
58.
style by Andy Hamilton, that kind of reference point that he has between the eyes.
$60.
The kind of routine he has, it's almost surprising that all the darts don't always land in exactly the same place. Maybe they will Maybe they will this time.
139.
Well, he changed tact in the end, Andy Hamilton, and couldn't find the pinpoint precision with dart number 3, but he has left himself in a strong position to see off the job in this
59.
leg. And it has been a decent performance, I think, from Andy Hamilton. Just needs to tidy up those kind of darts. And you're looking at those high 90, perhaps threatening the 100 average.
44.
What will bother him is that he can have a few visits. I'm not sure what he's doing there, Hamilton. I think he must have a bit of a bad back. It was a drop flight on the floor. It wasn't one of those where someone had put a fiver on a piece of string. That's what it appeared like.
$139.
Shake of the head from Gavin Carlin. Not sure if he was bothered by Hamilton there or whether he just bothered by his own performance here. He has given himself an outside chance, and
56.
Let's not forget that he's already cleaned up finishes of 131 and 125. Not far away, was looking for 619s.
98.
Which would have left him double 18. But this leg and this match is not yet over. Andy Hamilton would like it to be at the end of this visit. Will he get a dart? Not now, Andy. And now Gavin Carlin is plotting away in the background.
$96.
Makes his decision before he steps forward. Ups for 20 and then double 16, which has been on the end of his arm during this match, but not that time. And steps back once again. He knows that it is hit or bust.
$44.
But it should be bust now because Andy Hamilton has 3 clear to earn what is probably a deserved win. Double 4 would do it. Double 4 should do it. But he can't find it. He can't find it. And I did say at the start of this leg we might see some tension, some tungsten tension. And I think we've just seen it from both players. Well, Hamilton's wandering off out of the booth. He can't look. He's not looking, Hamilton. He's hoping.
6 good.
Perhaps he was even praying, and his prayers have been answered. Another opportunity for Andy Hamilton here. Having missed 3 for the match, he has 3 more. And this time he gets the job done. The average is not anything special, but at times there Andy Hamilton showed signs of his former self. And the important bit for him is that he gets the win and books his place in the second round, where Hamilton will meet Steve Lennon. Coming up next here in round 1 is Carol Sedlak.